Hi Hoopers, welcome back to the Shoe Sayer. Today we're taking a detailed look at Kyrie Irving's brand new sneakers, the Kai ones. But no, not a shoe with Nike brand, but with Anta, who is a Chinese brand who has players like Klay Thompson and Dante DiVincenzo signed up. So anyways, I got these on retail and I've played in them about 3 times in the past week, which is pretty much for me. And I just can't wait to share what I found about these shoes with you guys. So let's jump in the video. Okay, so as per usual, we'll start with performance and then go on to other key aspects of the shoe. Under performance, we look at traction, stability, durability, and cushion. Essentially, performance is what about the shoe makes you perform better, adds to your attributes, +5 speed, +10 rebounds, -7 handles, things like that. Okay, so kicking things off with the cushion setup of the Kai ones. So here we have in the midsole a full-length nitrogen-based foam. This foam is bouncy and very soft to touch and potentially unstable, right? So to counter that, Anta has implemented a stiffer carrier. So this brown foam here is EVA, and in the back foot it houses the softer nitrogen-based foam, and in the forefoot we have the outsole itself. See that? The outsole itself, which is of course solid rubber, is housing the nitrogen-based foam in the forefoot. Also, we have these 2 side pieces, this sleek one and then this bigger one, also acting as a house for nitrogen-based foam. So overall, it's a very bouncy ride, but also it's stable and it's also very low to the ground, typically like you would expect from a Kyrie shoe, but a bit more cushion from Anta brand, if I'm being honest. Also, underneath the insole, we have a full-length mesh strobel board, which is where you have it like perforated so that you can feel the cushion directly underneath your foot. So overall, it feels very stable, and even underfoot, the instep cushion is really good. Okay, I will warn you that if you want to change your insoles or anything like that, you want to take them out before you play in the shoes, because underneath the insole has glue, and then when you play in it, it's going to heat up and then it's going to stick to the floor of the shoes. So you can't take that out except you heat it up again using a dryer or something. So, but overall, full marks for cushion, definitely 2.5 over a possible 2.5 for the Anta Kai ones. Okay, so moving on to traction, and without wasting any time, I just want to say that so far, the Kai ones have the best traction I've tested this year. And because it performs very good on a clean court, but on a dusty court with minimal wiping, it's still super. And I think that's because of the rubber compound that's used, right? So obviously it has like this throwing knives pattern, but when you feel it, it has a coarse finish. So it's finished in such a way that it's designed to grip just about any surface. And then of course the grooves are hard and also deep. So if you're playing on an outdoor court, you are good. You can play with these for years, I think. This traction pattern works. The traction compound on the rubber outsole works. And then overall, it's just a top performer. So I'm not going to waste too much time there and just give it its due respect. 2.5 or 2.5 for traction. Moving on to stability. For the Kai ones, you have no issues with stability. So I already mentioned the plastic side pieces on the lateral side that help with lateral movements. Also, typical of a Kyrie shoe, it has a wide silhouette. So you can see here that there's an outrigger right here that comes out, protrudes pretty much. Not as much as the old Kyrie shoes, but it does the job, if I'm being honest. And then also this is concealed, but in the middle here you have a carbon fiber shank plate. So you notice that if I try to twist this, right, if I try to apply some torsional force along this axis, it isn't moving, and I'm not trying to break my fingers, but this is pretty stiff. And then also it has a plastic TPU, and also this inner lining is sculpted, right? So that plastic piece is sculpted, so it makes it cup your foot pretty well. And then this is pretty hard, and this is not going to be dislodged at all. So that's pretty good overall. Without wasting any time as well, I would just say stability is 2.5 top marks, and no complaints for me here. Also, of course, you have this strap, which is typical of Kyrie shoes, to lock down your midfoot. And this works. Even when you have the laces on already, you feel pretty locked in. And then once you strap this on, it's good night. So full marks. Finally, under performance, let us discuss durability. All right, so I played in these 3 days last week, and from a traction perspective, there's no wear at all on the outsole, so you're good here. Also on the upper, there's no sign of wear and tear, because on the Kai ones, the implementation features a lot of fuse. Fuse is high abrasion resistant material, so Kyrie does a lot of toe drags in his game, and he cuts a lot and he changes direction. So fuse, in case the upper touches the ground, right, fuse is able to essentially absorb that without material damage. So a lot of fuse on the shoe, and it just shows like overall zero abrasion, zero wear and tear so far. So I would say for durability, top marks again 2.5. There you have it. So the Anta Kai ones have a max score for cushion, for traction, for stability, and for durability. Only a handful of shoes can actually get a max score of 10, so big kudos to Kyrie and Anta brand for pulling this one out. This is a great performing shoe. Now, moving beyond just performance, let's talk about comfort. And how you can think about comfort is, can you actually put these shoes on and just play in them for days and days and forget that you even have them on? That's what comfort is. So let's dive into this section. First thing under comfort that we're going to look at is, how do these shoes fit? First thing I want to say, you should probably go true to size. I have a slightly wide foot. I went true to size and it fit me perfectly. It's snug enough in the toe box. It's not choking your foot out or anything. And it's also wide enough. So true to size for most people, I would say. These braided laces are really great. As soon as you have these shoes on and you tighten your shoelaces, they're not coming off at all. So that's a good thing for fit. Also, you have this sculpted heel, so your heel is always locked in this TPU heel counter, and it feels really good on foot, and also great for fit overall. Also, you have this signature Kyrie midfoot strap, which locks down your midfoot and is actually very functional and not just aesthetic. So that's really good for fit. Overall, I would say it fits very well. You also have the inner lining, which is, I think, feels like nylon, but it also makes sure your foot is not slipping inside the shoe when you have your socks, rubbing against the lining. It locks you down there. It has minimal padding here in the heel, but it is sufficient and it just fits overall very well. So I would say for fit, max scores for sure, 2.5 or 2.5. Moving on to how easy it is to put on and take these shoes off. Extremely easy. These laces are, a joy to essentially take off and put on. Also, you can see how big this is, right? This is so easy for you to slip your foot in. However, I do have one major issue, which is this midfoot strap is great for comfort, but you can see that if you want to take the laces off, you have to sort of like do this, take this off, and then put this to the side, something like this, while you lace up. Not a huge deal, but I'm in the business of nitpicking, so because of that tiny inconvenience, I would say ease of putting on and taking off for the Kai ones, I give it a 2 out of a possible 2.5. Moving on to breathability, that's one area where the Kai ones do not really shine, right? So it's not a poorly ventilated shoe. If you look, you can see it does have a lot of mesh, and then this mesh areas, they're supposed to be like the vents, right? But actually they're not very breathable, to be honest, right? They sacrifice some of that breathability for durability, because a lot of these areas where you have fuse, right, they might have been, a mesh there, a larger mesh surface area if I was the one designing these shoes. But of course, also another opportunity to have some vents, and you have this embroidery thing for aesthetics purposes. So it's not awful, right, when you play in them in terms of breathability, but it's something that could definitely be better, and I'm sure it will be better in the next iteration. So for that, I would say I give it a breathability score of 1.5 over a possible 2.5. All right, finally on the comfort, we're gonna look at weight. And these shoes are very light, very light. To be honest, when I put them on, I sort of forgot I had them on me in the first place. So they're very light. I think I compared these to the AC12s and also to the Book 1s, and those are a bit lighter, but still in the same realm where this is a pretty light shoe, and it's super minimal on foot. You're gonna love to play and run in these. I do a lot of running, so trust me when I tell you these guys are awesome. So for weight, we have a score of 2.5 over a possible 2.5. So overall score for comfort as far as the Kai 1s are concerned. So fit, max score 2.5. For ease of putting on, 2 just because of that midfoot strap issue that we discussed. Breathability 1.5, could be a little bit more breathable, although it's not bad, it's not terrible as it is today. And then finally for weight, max score, it's light as a feather, so that's 2.5. Overall for comfort, the Kai 1 gets a score of 8.5 over 10. Super solid. Okay, so moving on to the third overall section where we discuss design and aesthetics. The whole idea is that yes, you want to play good, but you also want to look good while you're breaking ankles and, you know, crossing people over, getting rebounds, laying the ball up, you know, whatever you do on the court, you want to look good while you're doing it. So in this section, we're going to see whether this shoe allows you to do all that. Okay, so starting with visual appeal on a basketball court, I think these shoes are absolutely gorgeous. I like the little details. You know, Kyrie has his name written in semi-hieroglyphs all around the shoes. It has this embroidery detail here in the forefoot. The laces are braided and they look awesome. Even the traction pattern is quite unique in itself, you know. So overall, also in the heel you have, I think, the Anta logo and Kyrie's you know, logo there as well. So that's a pretty nice touch. So overall, there's a lot of thought that you can see went through the shoes, and then also when you have them on foot on the basketball court, they turn heads and people always ask like what you have on, etc. So I would say for visual appeal, definitely one of the better looking shoes out there. Also, there are other colorways that are coming out which are also pretty nice. So I would say max scores 2.5 over 2.5 for visual appeal. Great looking shoes. All right, so moving on to style versatility, I would say these shoes, they can be multifunctional. Like I can see maybe wearing them in a pair of sweatpants, maybe going to the grocery store, I suppose, and maybe in a pair of jeans as well. You know, not as versatile as maybe like the D-Book 1s, which really look like a casual shoe, but you know, not all too bad as well. So I would say for the Kai 1s, for style versatility, I would give it a score of 2 out of a possible 2.5. Skipping on to innovation, I think these shoes look pretty novel to me, just because they don't look like your regular Kyries. Obviously, they don't have that super wide last. Even the materials are a bit different, and also coming to a new brand, Anta, Kyrie was able to, you know, use his creative acumen, because I think he's like their chief creative officer. So I think he really went crazy on this in terms of mixing fuse mesh and also the embroidery. And also this plastic piece. These shoes they're redesigned, you know, the entire Kyrie lineage, what that looks like to me, and I think this is awesome. Overall, still very familiar materials, and also you might look at this and say this is a Kyrie shoe, so that's why I'm not giving it top marks. But for innovation, I would say overall probably a 2 out of 2.5 for innovation. Great job. All right, so lastly, under design and aesthetics, let's look at materials. And what I think is that Anta and Kyrie, they've made materials that are typically looked down upon, like fuse, mesh, right, and plastic. They've made it look premium. These shoes feel premium on hand, right? They don't feel like they're cheap, which they kind of are, 125 USD, but they're super premium feeling, and I think that's a great job from Anta to use these, you know, typical materials and make it look even better and make it feel even better. So for me, for materials, I would say that's a 2 out of a possible 2.5, obviously because they don't have premium materials on here, but the tech is premium because this nitrogen full-length foam is a huge deal, which, you know, Nike never gives, or even Adidas on their budget shoes. Maybe worse, Nike's probably the worst there, but overall 2 out of 2.5 for materials on the Anta Kai 1s. All right, so overall, as far as design and aesthetics is concerned, we have a max score for visual appeal, 2.5. For style versatility, we have 2. For innovation, we have 2, and for materials, we have 2. Overall, we get a score for design and aesthetics of 8.5 over 10. This is a great looking shoe, reasonably versatile, great materials, and also great look for Kyrie's new partnership with Anta. All right, so finally we're going to talk about affordability, and these shoes, I got them for retail, and they cost me 125 US dollars, so that's like 160 plus Canadian. And these shoes are, for the tech in them, they're really cost effective, or I think value for money wise, I would say they're really good. So I would give this an affordability score of 9 over 10. The only issue is availability, because you have to wait in line and sometimes like sign up to get these, to get on a waiting list to cop these. And of course, it's only available in the United States for now. So availability might be an issue, but you can always get these in retail. Just have a little bit of patience. Also, I did see, on the side here that it's made in Vietnam. So maybe if you have or can find an Instagram plug, that's a shoe Instagram plug that's from Vietnam, maybe you can get these for cheaper at source price, who knows. But overall, 9 over 10 for affordability. Very great shoe in terms of price for the tech that you get. Kudos. Okay, so putting it all together, the Kai ones are a great overall shoe. We have a performance score of 10 over 10, comfort and fit 8.5, design and aesthetics 8.5, and pricing 9. So overall we have a score of 9.075. So this cracked the 9 and above mark. The only other shoe that I have reviewed this year that has cracked that is the AC12s, which I believe had a score of 9.175, but essentially they're in the same stratosphere, and these are the top performers for 2024 as far as I'm concerned. So if you were thinking about copying the Kai ones and you were on the fence, you have to get these. You have to see what these brands are doing these days and offering at a very good price for everyone to get a piece of this. So please go get you one of these. Overall, great performer, and yeah. Thanks guys, thanks for supporting the channel, thanks for subscribing, leaving your comments. I'm growing rapidly, and it's pretty great to see all the support from you guys. So please continue to watch, like, share, comment. I have a bunch of shoes. I have, in the 50s, right? So just let me know, and I might have something that you want to get reviewed. Just let me know in the comment section, and I'll try to get that done eventually. So appreciate all the love and support. So, thank you guys, and it's been great. See you guys in the next one. Bye, Hoopers.